The hardest to swallow pill about the recession and the downturn of the crypto and mainstream investment markets is that recessions are where true riches are made. And this difficult period is what defines mostly the people who are able to extract maximum value from the markets and those who end up chasing trends, oftentimes with a far higher risk of losing in their pursuit of ultimately growing their portfolio. So today we're going to be giving you a bear market survival guide and helping you understand the activities that you can do each and every day to set yourself up for success when the market reverses, and more importantly, how to establish a firm foundation while competition and noise recedes from these heavily trafficked and very competitive sectors of the economy. Today, we're going to be giving you the playbook that I used throughout the last bear market to have incredible success in the recent cycle, and this is not rocket science. This is stuff that anyone can do. I've lived it myself, and I'm going to be giving you the pearls of wisdom that I wish I had known last cycle. So without any further ado, let's dive into this bear market survival guide, because I believe that anyone can use these activities to turn very small amounts of money into very large amounts of money over the course of years. With that said, destroy that like button if you're excited for this one, as we're going to be bringing you content no matter what part of the cycle it is. And as I've told you many times before, I actually get more excited during these down markets because there emerges the possibility now of having an edge over the mainstream consensus opinion, and edge is the most powerful thing you can have in markets. With that said, let's jump in. Without a doubt, the number one thing you can do in a bear market is to survive. There's an amazing thread. I've talked about the threads by 6529, super valuable pearls of wisdom. But let's go through this whole checklist, because the checklist that 6529 outlines here is very accurate. We're going to be adding to it, but these are some great things to keep in mind. First of all, review your emotions. Emotions in a bear market are some of the most damning and difficult things to get over. And these are constant FOMO to buy the dips, depression from the actual state of the market, anxiety, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. All of these things cloud your ability to make good decisions. So it's really important that you just understand your own emotional state. And as 6529 says, a little bit higher in the thread, if you are feeling mentally unwell, if you're ever feeling like you're willing to hurt yourself, please reach out to family and friends, reach out to someone, because it is never worth it. But more importantly, this is something that I say all the time, and it is one of the biggest major keys in handling a bear market is to forget the all-time high. You see, the reality is during the bull market, you start seeing some crazy numbers show up on your calculated total portfolio value, whether you're using a floor price tracker to track your NFT portfolio, or you're just looking at all your altcoins and their value. If you hit that red sell button right now on everything, well, that number is very, very seductive. And we've all seen an extremely high number on that portfolio relative to our normal during the bull market. However, that number is a total lie. That number is a sham. The biggest scam in crypto is the all-time high, because the reality is that absolutely no one sells the all-time high. They never sell their entire portfolio. And you would be a fool to do that in that scenario, because the probabilities would say that, hey, there's a chance you go up. And in that chance, you'd be silly to have exited your whole portfolio. So no one sells the all-time high. More importantly, that number is about as real as the Easter Bunny. It is a myth, a thing of fiction. It is not something that you can base your current actions off. What you need to think about is your current portfolio value, what capital you have available to you today, and what your plan is, because those are bullets in your chamber that you can fire and that you can choose to fire in different ways. Never make plans based on the previous all-time high. Only make plans based on the current market conditions and your current portfolio value. The more you understand that, the better off you'll be. And this goes back to reviewing your emotions, because that all-time high number has you tilted. It has you emotional. It has you believing in something that never existed. So wipe that number out of your head and make a plan based on what's going on now. This is the number one thing I wish I had done in 2018, where I kept doubling down on dips on coins, trying to chart my path back to that all-time high. Now, all of these pieces of advice here, don't try to predict markets, plan for various scenarios, including down a lot from here. Again, that goes back to forgetting the all-time high, because we don't know. This could be considered very high based on where the market might be going. So it's just important to ground yourself and understand where each position in your portfolio falls and whether you're willing to continue to take that risk. One of the most important things you can also do is to make money during these downtimes. Keep hustling, keep grinding wherever you can contribute to society. Keep doing that, because the ability to keep cash flow coming in and keep buying coins through the bear market is a superpower. And that's what really separates the people who crush it in the next cycle from those who are playing catch up. Building skills, contributing, enjoying your life, and 2030. Now, speaking of 2030, it's important that you realize that your future net worth, I believe this, is defined by how you engage and stay up with the crypto space over the next few years. Now, over the last bear market, I was literally ridiculed nonstop for continuing to believe in crypto. I turned down full scholarships to business and law schools. I literally rejected every path that was non-crypto, and that actually led to significant pushback from family and friends who did not understand my life path. And I more or less felt ridiculed by those around me, but I did it because I believed that this was the right future for me. And looking back, I cannot imagine the world any other way. So it's really important that you realize that the bear market is where those doubts will set in. It's where there will be periods of boredom. At least last time, people turned away and started judging you for even caring about crypto. And that's where things get really tough. So it's really important to realize that staying engaged and keeping caring about crypto is one of those superpowers through the bear market. And that requires optimism and it requires stamina. And the reason why you can't just come back during the bull run is once you turn off, there's like a mental barrier there. When you leave something that you once loved, when you leave something that you were once passionate about, there becomes this barrier to overcome. And if you need to overcome that barrier, the chance that you'll buy back in quickly is very, very low. You'll need some major push to feel like this time is different, or it's no longer the bear market, or you're for sure in a new cycle. And usually by the time those signs are that obvious, you're pretty late in the game, or you're certainly not early. And then you're coming in with a wave of other opportunistic normies and non-coiners. And we all know the volatility that hits at the peak of the market is really insane. And oftentimes that FOMO fest leads to a lot of people losing money. Because we talk about long-term planning. We talk about long-term mindset. We talk about these things all the time, but so few people actually use a long-term mentality. They come in and they say, yeah, I'm here for the future of the metaverse. Oh yeah, I believe in the future of decentralized finance and all of these innovations in crypto. But when it comes down to it, they just want to make money today, immediately. If things fluctuate down at all, it's sell, it's scam. And the reality is almost nobody actually uses a long-term mindset. The people who are able to have a long-term mindset generally crush it in crypto, investing in things like Bitcoin and ETH, as well as following the industry closely so they can have some high conviction plays that also can net wild gains, like we've seen with NFT projects most recently. The world we're heading to is inarguably and indisputably a crypto-centric one with required asset gains across the board for the staples of the industry. If you understand that, you know that over a long enough time period, just staying engaged will make you super early to the biggest financial networks in history. And this is the biggest part, because a lot of people say, well, I don't have money to keep spending. Times are tough. Well, it doesn't cost you anything to read Twitter. It doesn't cost you anything to stay engaged. It doesn't cost you anything to start blogging, to start contributing, to start working as a mod in your favorite Discord, to just become a core member of good Discord chats, of good Telegram groups, to form your community and your tribe. Costs nothing for the most part. And it's important that you realize that these activities are what will help you get ahead and stay ahead, especially during tough times in the market. Even just being a vocal, active community member makes you far more visible during the bear markets when so many people have gone away. I'll add in here that you should also stop beating yourself up for your losses. It's not just you and your mistakes that have led you to lose money. Everybody gets crushed in crypto. I've gotten my booty handed to me so many times by the market. And that's why when things are good, you have that PTSD, you have that fear that you've been through this before, and you know that times only stay good for so long. That's why you sell. In my opinion, the experience of getting completely wrecked by the market is the absolute best tool that can give you healthy trading practices in the future, because until you've lived that pain of being down bad, you don't know how important it is to sell when you're up good. That's the reality, is that next time you will be a seller. And I scream and yell about it on my channel. I feel like I carve out minutes out of every episode screaming and yelling about selling when you're in profits. And that's because I know how hard it is. It's because I've been there, I've done that, I've gotten crushed time and time again. And it's only when I started meticulously selling when I was in profits that I was able to actually grow my portfolio consistently, even through these rocky downturns. So a big GM to everyone hustling during this bear market, because the reality is that this is the time to get serious, and this is the time that you can rise to the top of the field with far less competition. Now, for a lot of people, you might be thinking, well, how do I make money? And the reality is that if you're good enough to look around the NFT space or the crypto space, find the next hot trending assets and coins, work your way into Discords, buy low, flip high, and actually work this market the way that it is designed to be worked, then you are very capable of having more than one hustle. You're a hustler. And it's really important to realize that times like this favor people who are adaptable, who are willing to learn new skills, who are willing to contribute on multiple levels, and who are willing to hustle. So spend your time trying to learn new skills, look up side hustles, look up ways that you can generate more income, and just be scrappy. I'm curious, I don't know, this channel's never really talked about side hustles. I mostly only focus on crypto. I don't know, this is a crazy thing. Do you guys want to hear about side hustles from me, other ways to make money besides crypto? Times are crazy right now, and I believe any way that you can make money is a very, very good thing, because that money will have disproportionate power if invested wisely whenever the market does come back to life. Life goes on, bull market or bear market, and it's time to continue with the attitude and that passion you had during the bull market. Take it into the bear market, and you will not only survive, but you will thrive once conditions normalize. So what are some opportunities? Well, coding is something that will never ever be a skill you regret having, even if it's just to read smart contracts that are written by developers and have a better understanding of where the quality is. Learning to code, learning to read code, especially becoming a full-blown engineer is easily the best way to spend your time, in my opinion, in 2022. There is no lack of opportunities for good engineers. No joke, I'll hire you if you're a good engineer. Literally, if you're solid, email me and you have a job. And I'm not the only one. There's a huge drought of talent in Web3. And so by cultivating a few key skills, you could not just stay in Web3, but you could be fully employed in an amazing job in Web3, being able to make cash, stay up with the news, and consistently invest. Other things you could do is learn to, track the market, track data, track metrics, track smart money wallets, and actually see where the flow of funds is going throughout the entire bear market. Super valuable. And finally, write eloquently. I'll expand this to make content. The world of crypto loves content creators. Of course, depending on who you ask, crypto influencers are either gods or demons or whatever they are. But the truth is that crypto content creators are the reason why I got into this industry, why I became so passionate about this industry. And I know for a fact that content creators in this industry are part of the heart and soul of this movement. Being a strong content creator in crypto is a skill set that I highly encourage you to practice during the bear market, where it's hard, where things are not up only 10x overnight, and you will develop a rounded and balanced approach and be a far better resource once the bull market does return than all of those fair weather newcomers that have not been forged in the fires of the bear market. To be honest, learning to code, learning on-chain metrics, or learning to create amazing content about this industry is not a 10x opportunity. It's a 100 or 1,000x opportunity, and I promise you that. Just to be clear though, content creation can go a significant period of time before it's profitable. And in fact, I would argue that you should absolutely not be looking to make immediate profits off your content, or you will probably make value judgments that are not in favor of your audience. I never made a dime off of my YouTube channel until about 3.5 years of making videos. So it's just important that you realize it can take time to build something genuine. And during that time, you have to be scrappy. Like I said, learn to hustle. And why are content creators so valuable? Well, guess what? When the sky is falling, we're the ones giving you the strength and perspective to understand the other side of the coin, to not just think emotionally and follow the herd, but to think like someone who's been through this several times. And I can tell you, DCAing is a simple and effective way to get ahead of the market. You are definitely missing out if you leave when the bears come. This is when the sales come out. This is when the real pros and the real traders get excited. If you want to be trading in momentum with the big boys, then you really need to be paying attention during these time periods. Again, during the bear market, you could have easily built a portfolio of a tremendous amount of ETH that went 40x, Bitcoin went over 10x, Solana went like 200x, Phantom, the list goes on of coins that absolutely crushed it during the bull market, and you had plenty of time to accumulate a very, very cheap bag during the bear market. So to be clear, positive cash flow is the absolute superpower of the bear market. If you don't have any way to generate income inside crypto, then either learn to contribute, hustle to get an opportunity, or learn to have a side hustle outside of crypto or something that you can use to make money, i.e. your normal job, your day job. Do not leave any opportunities to be revenue generating on the table. which explains the tweet why work to earn is going to be the next big narrative. Again, this is a joke because work to earn has been the way that the world has worked, I guess, forever. So the big question on everybody's mind is, where is the bottom? Now, obviously, I've given you my opinion that I believe we still have another round of capitulation ahead of us, but that doesn't really matter because whether or not we bottom here or capitulate a little further, this Fed-fueled bear market in traditional equities as well as crypto is pulling everything down, at least temporarily. And during this downtrend, it's important to realize that doing the hard work, that getting ahead, that pushing that little bit further, doing the difficult things is once again going to be the difference between separating you from the others. It's true in the bull market, it's true everywhere. But the reality is that during bull markets, it's easier to make money and people get complacent. They no longer feel the need to grind as hard. And once again, we see a return to the way the world works, which is pushing yourself and working hard will always be a skill that gets you ahead. And in this case, creating cash flow, learning to contribute to crypto during the bear market, and that could be as simple as creating content, learning to code. It's important that you continue to push forward with those skills in mind to develop yourself so that when the market eventually reverses, and it will, because in 2030, you better believe the concept of metaverses will be pretty darn advanced and people will be spending a ton more time in their digital worlds. In my opinion, that is undeniable. So understand, if the destination is clear, then what you should be doing is preparing for that destination because time slips by pretty darn fast. I can promise you that. And I believe people will deeply, deeply regret not taking advantage of the fact that we pretty much know for sure the direction of the world, the direction of the crypto economy long term, and you have all the time in the world right now to prepare for that reality. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this bear market survival guide. As always, like I said before, DCAing into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and your high conviction plays slowly over a long period of time is the way to survive the bear, with a huge emphasis on the word survival, because those who survive are going to be set up to thrive. Please do not leave. Please stay engaged. The people who do stay engaged, who even just pay attention, will be way ahead. I hope this video has helped you in some way. If it did, smash that like button, obliterate it. As always, I'm EllioTrades. You can find me on Twitter at EllioTrades, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.